Hey, welcome back to our shop just outside of Kennesaw here in North Georgia. Well, look, I hadn't planned on bringing you in on this project, but as I started it, I thought maybe I would. This is a solid wood sofa table with cabrio legs. It was stained a murky walnut. I'm not sure what kind of wood it is. I think the top might be cherry. But anyways, my initial plan was just to shoot this in black lacquer. And as I was working on it, I decided to do it in two-tone with the base in black lacquer and the top we're going to stain it in a brown walnut and lacquer finish it. So here's what we've got so far. I cleaned and sanded the legs and the apron and masked off the underside of the top and most of the top and just shot it with a gloss black lacquer. Hey, one of the things to keep in mind about black lacquer, something that I found out the hard way, if you shoot it in the direct sun, the black just absorbs the heat like crazy, and it can affect the finish. It can wrinkle or bubble. The heat heats up the finish before it sets and does all sorts of nasty stuff to it. So just keep that in mind as you work with black lacquer. And I know it's difficult to see in the shade, and it's even more difficult to work on this piece in the shade with the bright sun behind us. But if I put it out in the sun before it sets up, I'm going to have problems with it. So just something to keep in mind as you work with this. Well, hey, the table's flipped over and I've removed all the tape that I used to mask it off, and you can see the top now. Well, this was done in a walnut. I don't know if it's walnut. It seems to be cherry to me. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a beautiful piece when we're done. It's a solid piece. You can see by the way the molded edge is solid. So it's 3/4 inch hardwood of some kind. Again, I believe it's probably cherry. But there's the difference between it and the aprons and the legs. We have a nice clean line. What we'll do up underneath is just apply some wiping stain and maybe a seal coat, or maybe just leave it. But the next step on this is to sand down all this fill. This is all Timbermate wood filler that I put on earlier this morning before I masked it off, and any of the dents and gouges. And you can see right here, that's an earlier fill that I did. So it's time to sand, and we'll get all this off. And then, believe it or not, I'm going to use a wiping stain on this only because I found a bunch of Mohawk wiping stain that I forgot I had, so I want to use it up. So stick with us. Next step is to sand this off, and then we'll put some stain on it. this stain dry for about 45 minutes, you can see the blotchiness has gone away, which is a good thing. I felt bad that I may have misidentified this wood and missed that it was maple, which tends to absorb stain in a very blotchy way. But regardless, it's going to be a nice base for us, because we're going to shoot some darker toner over it and then some lacquer coat. So stick with us.